Hey girlies, what's up? Welcome or welcome back to my channel. Hope you guys are all doing well. So today I thought I would do a full face of Fenty Beauty. I want to give like an updated mini review on the products. So first things first, we're going to start with primer. I literally have a little squeeze left of this. That's how much I really enjoyed this. This is the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Hydrating Primer, and this is in the soft silk version. I know they have a matte version. I'm using the hydrating one. This is basically done. So good. I need another one. I need another one ASAP. There's hardly anything coming out. I've got a little some out we could use. I could be real Caribbean and West Indian and just open this and like, I'm just gonna apply this to the skin. This is super hydrating. It almost, to me, feels like a moisturizer. It just makes your skin feel really nice. I'm not gonna say it's super tacky, but I haven't had any problem with my makeup not lasting when I've used this. Do you see how hydrated and like plump my skin looks? I love how this primer makes the skin look. I have quite a few Fenty complexion products. I actually have 3 on hand right now. So I do have the Fenty Ease Drops. These are my absolute favorite skin tints that I've tried over the last couple of years, and I have tried quite a few. These are my tried, true and tested. They work so good in the summer. They last long, they look good. It's your skin but better. Absolutely love these. This is like, for me, a must-have for the summer. I also tried the Ease Drop Skin Tint Stick because I love the liquid version. I thought, let me try the stick version. Honestly, when it comes to Fenty, I don't have a foundation shade. I usually use 450 as far as the liquid foundation, but it's a little bit too red. But if I go up to 440, 445, the undertone is a bit light, so I just go deeper because it's just easier for me. And this one is quite red. This is in the shade 22. It does have a nice glow to it, but it is a little bit red, so I usually would wear this a lot more in the summertime. For foundation, I do have the latest drop. This is the Soft Lit Naturally Luminous Longwear Foundation. I got this in the shade 445. It's workable, but I definitely have to deepen it up a little bit, so I'll be using this one today. I think out of all the actual foundation Fenty's dropped, this has been my favorite. I'm gonna just pop this on the skin directly, and then I'm gonna add the 22 Ease Drop just to deepen this up a tiny bit. I'm just gonna tap this into the skin. One thing I do notice with Fenty's complexion products is they're not very heavy. Even though this one says like a long wear foundation, it still allows your skin to have a more breathable finish, even though it has pretty much medium buildable coverage. Do you see how glowy and pretty the skin looks? Like, so good. Get into that forehead. I still have my Fenty Snap Shadows. Do you guys remember these? I don't think they sell these anymore. Meanwhile, I have 3. I think you could probably only find this one, which is the neutral one, but most of them are nowhere to be found anywhere. I still have mine, okay? I will say the formula of these was not the best. I did love the innovation of the fact that they snap together. Like, you buy them separately and then they just snap on like that. I thought that was cool. I did feel like this palette was the best one that they came out with. Like, this blended so nicely, and we're gonna use her today. Okay, we have primer on. Let's start to build out the eye. I'm gonna need a nice little brown, so I'm actually gonna go into neutrals to start building out the base, and I'm just gonna go into this brown, like a deep brown. I'm just gonna pop that right in the crease here. Oh, that is super dark. I didn't realize it was gonna be that super dark. Okay, I think I'm gonna go into the red brown shade and go directly underneath that. I'm actually gonna go with the orange in the same palette and just warm it up a bit. I am between this shade and this shade. This one looks a bit too cool. I think I might go between these two, so let's just see how it goes. And then I'm gonna go into, let me try and use a different brush. I'm gonna go into the 2 middle shades. It's called Need Receipt and Direct Deposit. I'm just gonna, like an ombre. Pop it here. And kind of bring it in. That's what we've got. I kind of did an ombre with all of them green, so from darkest to lightest. I kind of also want to do a little bit of this yellow gold. I think I'm going to put it more in the inner corner, like right there. Honestly, I could have done this when my makeup is finished. That's pretty much the eyes done. We're going to be using this Fenty Wear Even concealer. This is literally one of my top 5 concealers right now. Love, love, love this stuff. I have the shade 430W. I will say the shade range, from what I remember when I went to purchase this, it wasn't the best. I feel like there were a lot of shades around the 400s that were so similar, and then there was a bit of a jump. So I feel like the shade range could be a little bit more flushed out, but such a good concealer. I would definitely say this is more of a medium buildable concealer. The longer you leave it to set, the better the coverage is. If you blend it out too quickly, it will kind of give more like light medium coverage. So while that sits down, I'm going to go ahead and apply bronzer. I actually have 2 bronzing products from Fenty. So I have the cream bronzer in Toffee Tease. I believe this is the deepest shade. I feel like with these bronzers, they're more contours. If we're being honest, they're much more cool toned than I would think a bronzer would be. The shade before this, I think it's called like chocolate something. I found that to be too close to my skin tone. It just wasn't going to do anything. So I went ahead and picked up this one. This one is quite deep, but it still gives contour vibes. It's not really bronzing. I do also have the matchsticks. This is the matchsticks in Ebony, and I haven't used this in such a while, but it's a really pretty deep contour shade. So I guess we're gonna do a little contour today, guys. I think I want to use this just because I feel like I've used the cream bronzer quite a lot. So I'm just gonna sculpt. I'm gonna do it in the same way I would do my regular contour bronzer. So I'm just gonna come down like this. It feels so odd to have like a stick on my face at this point. Look how pretty that's blending out, and that foundation really works well with the concealer as well, because you can still see that glow coming through. I'm also gonna blend my concealer here. I have not contoured in literally years. Like, I'm a bronzer girl, so I'm intrigued to see how this is gonna pan out. This does have a warm undertone, so I don't think it's gonna look too different, but it's definitely much deeper than I would go, so it's definitely gonna give more of a shadow. Okay, I feel like it's definitely cooler. Actually, before we do blush, let's blend this nose contour. I'm just gonna do my regular blend. Just go up and down the nose. So this is the Daiquiri Dip. It's like a red deep cream blush. So gorgeous, you guys. Like, this looks on the skin, and I think, what should I use to apply it? Usually I use my beauty sponge. I don't know if this is the best way to apply it, or I should use a brush, sorry. So I'm just gonna go in with this angled brush and just stipple it. It's very subtle, but it's gorgeous. Like, this is a really nice blush if you want more of like a simple, subtle type of blush to your skin. This is the Fenty Pro Filt'r setting powder in the shade Honey. I love the shade of this. I just can never get along. I don't know why I can't get along with this powder. Like, she just doesn't do what I want her to do. I don't know what it is, but we're gonna try her again. I just never really fell in love with this powder, but let me see how it's gonna work with today's look. It actually has a nice little fragrance to it as well. This one is definitely more a natural powder. Like, it sets exactly where you put it. It's very finely milled. It looks very soft, but it's not going to do any extra work for you. Like, if you want to do a really snatched under eye, you're going to really have to work with your concealers, because it's literally just going to set what you give it, basically. Whereas with like some other powders, for example like my Huda powder, that like the powder on its own has its own little thing that it does, whereas this powder, it literally just sets what is under there. That's it. Let's go ahead and do some bronzer. I can't wait to put bronzer on, and I'm not even using Thick Mint. You guys know, if you're not new here, that is like my go-to bronzer. We're using an old favorite, which is a Mocha Mami, because we didn't get to use a warm bronzer as a cream bronzer. We're gonna do it with the powder bronzer. This is Mocha Mami by Fenty, but these are the differences. I'll swatch them because mine's like a little raggedy, but That's how you guys know I'm actually using them. I'm not just saying that. So that is the Mocha Mami shade by Fenty, and then that one here is Thick Mint. So I like both of them depending on my mood. I think Thick Mint has been my fave for a very long time, but Mocha Mami has her place. I'm just not used to that contour vibe anymore. Like, I'm very much warm, bronzy girl. So I'm just gonna warm up. And especially because I don't have a powder blush, we definitely want some good colour to the skin. We can kind of do our finishing touches. Now that I'm looking at my eyes, I kind of want to do a little bit on the lower lash line. So I'm actually going to go in with that neutral palette and pick up the deep brown and just kind of give us a bit of definition. I think I'm actually going to use the red tone brown because the other brown was a little bit too... it was a little too dark for me, and I'm just going to go slightly on the lower lash line. I'm pretty happy with that. I'm going to put a little mascara on, so please excuse it. It's not Fenty, but I just feel like the eyes need a little definition. It's giving Jamaica eyes. So now I'm going to use a face powder. Now this face powder is tried, true, tested 20 million times. This is a powder that I literally bring in my makeup bag whenever I wear makeup. I use it as a finishing powder, but it is marketed as a soft matte powder foundation. In my makeup bag is a setting powder, a face powder, okay? So this one has seen me through. I don't even know if you guys can see like the cracks and the damages on it. Like, she goes everywhere with me. Whenever I wear makeup, best believe this is in my bag. So this is how it looks. It has two compartments. It has one over here with a little sponge underneath, and then it has the mirror compact, another product here in pan. I'm just gonna grab any kind of face brush and I'm just gonna tap, especially along my jawline, because that's kind of where I put foundation and then I don't really do anything else for the rest of the makeup application. So I just use this all around on my forehead. I am just going to use my Fix Plus. Okay, so now we can go into lip liner. So I do have one of the Fenty lip liners. I have it in the shade Cold Blooded 09. I'm not sure if this is the second to last. I think it's the second to last. My issue with this liner is just the usability of it. Upon further digging, because I was thinking about how people are using this liner is used with like a plastic sharpener. I don't own one. I think they should give a little bit more information on this liner because the shade range is so good with these liners. It's just the function, the usability isn't that easy. The other day I was swatching it and it did not come off, so I'm hoping that's not the same now. I don't know what it is. I don't know if there's like a film on it that like is not making it swatch, because I don't understand. Like, it's not coming out. Hold on. So that's not really working. It's not coming out correctly. It's like coming out really like uneven. Like, I'm over it. Over it. I'm just gonna go over it with my Morphe liner and just kind of like spread it a little bit more. It's just disappointing because the shade range is so good with this liner and it's super deep and it looks really good. It's just that it's just not easy to use, and I just feel like a lip liner should be easy, especially like knowing throughout the day you have to top up your liner. You don't want to be fighting with it, do you know what I mean? So yeah, that's my only thing. Like, the lip liner, the shade range is so good. It's just that it's hard to use. Lip gloss, a Fenty Gloss Bomb, top tier. My absolute fave for like probably a year straight, Gloss Bomb Heat. Gloss Bomb Heat was my thing. I still have her. I feel like I have 3 of these. Like, I probably went through 3. Like, it was serious. I was a Gloss Bomb Heat hot chocolate girl for life. But I think I'm gonna do a little pink today. So I do have this Fenty Gloss Bomb Cream in Fenty Glow, and I think I'm gonna apply a little bit in the center. Okay, no, not in the center. We're actually applying it. Now I feel like my lips aren't that defined because of the lip liner fail. But anyway, we're gonna go on with the hot chocolate heat and just go on top, and that can help plump the lips as well. Okay, so I zoomed you guys out a little bit so you guys can see a fuller picture of the look. I definitely feel like the hydrating base, the hydrating primer, and the hydrating concealer and the blush did its big one, because the face looks glowy and really, really nice. That blush, I'm telling you guys, that Fenty cream blush, she's always gonna pop out. I went on top with the Mocha Mami bronzer, and of course I finished with my setting spray. that cream blush still pops out, which is really interesting because I didn't feel like it did when I was doing my makeup, but now I'm looking at my face, I'm like, oh, like that blush is definitely there. So love that. But yeah, that wraps up the end of today's full face. I feel like I'm gonna start doing like full face videos. So I've done Elf Cosmetics, now I've done Fenty. Let me know if you guys have any preferences, any brands that you feel like you want me to try out and do a full face of. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this full face of Fenty. I'll definitely list all of the products down below. Be sure to like the video, subscribe, and I will see you guys